Good morning, world. I am only up because I have to go into town later for some tests and my MRI. So there's that. I've been sleeping like an uncomfortable amount, like 12 to 14 hours a night because reasons. I don't know if it's because of something going on with my physical health or if it's related to the depression. I couldn't tell you. But it is currently 10:43. The rest of the world is up and functioning, and I have not been up this early in a couple of weeks actually, which is really sad. Um, but anywho, I wanted to come on here and just hang out with you guys for a little bit to kind of de-stress. It's kind of like my happy place to be able to come on here and talk to you guys and hang out for a little bit. Um, and happy Halloween. The year is almost over. October is over tomorrow. Like, normally on Halloween, I would do like either I would dress up for Halloween in some form or another, or I would do um like makeup and like just get like weird with my face and like take pictures and stuff. But I can't this year because I have this whack rash coming up all over my face, which was part of the reason I went to the doctor yesterday. But also, I've had a lot of like pain in my stomach. But like these little bumps, all right here, like I thought that these were like acne or something. But like as an esthetician, I'm sitting here looking at my face, like, okay, I haven't had acne consistently since I was like 19. It's been almost 10 years. Soap is the same, like laundry soap's the same, body wash is the same, shampoo, face stuff, like everything's the same, diet is the same, like nothing's changed. So obviously it's something that's like not in my control. And so when I went to the doctor yesterday, I was like, so I've got this rash happening on my face and like it goes down about this far, and then I have a couple of like spots on my stomach. And she was like, yeah, it looks like some kind of like contact dermatitis or whatever, which is just a fancy way of saying I have an allergic reaction to something. But then the steroids, so they wanted to do a week of oral steroids and a topical antibiotic cream to clear it up. But of course, the steroid needs pre-authorization, so I can't even get it, and it itches really bad. So that's fun. It's definitely not as bad as it was yesterday though. So that's good. You can see like I know my camera is not good, and I know that like my internet is not good, so a lot of times like it's like really choppy and like funky and stuff, but like you can kind of see like different little like spots and stuff. And there was like a huge, I can't see it because it's on my left side and I'm blind on this side, but my mom said there was like a huge patch over here and I could feel it yesterday, and it was just not a good time. Um and then today I have the MRI for my knee to determine like how severe the damage is, to see if we can do um like physical therapy or if we need to do just like a full knee replacement, which I'm not excited for the idea of having a fake knee before I'm 30. That part makes me very sad. And then also when I was at the doctor yesterday, we were talking about some other stuff and like the pain I've been having in my stomach. It's not really like my stomach, like my organ stomach. It's like lower in like my abdomen area. And so at first I thought it was something related to like reproductive organs, but like looking at where those organs are and where the pain is, it's not related. And she's concerned that my kidneys are not functioning the way that they should, which makes me very concerned because if your kidneys aren't working, you're gonna die. Like, you have dialysis, you have kidney transplant, or death. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So that's concerning. So I have to go in before my MRI to do blood work and urine tests and then play the waiting game and figure out, does Jess need a new kidney? Hopefully not. I would like to live and die as one complete being, having no organs removed or transferred, no like blood transfusions, anything like that. Like I broke my arm when I was a kid and they put a metal rod in, but then they also took that metal rod out. So I don't have any kind of like implants or like surgical devices or anything like that. All of my bones are the same. All of my organs are the same. I still have my appendix, gallbladder, tonsils, all of it. So I'm concerned at the prospect of these two things because they are like concerning, but I'm trying to be like, okay, there's kids out there who have way worse things at way younger ages. Like there's people who are going through a lot more than I am. So I'm trying to like keep it in perspective, I guess, that yeah, stuff sucks, but it could suck a lot more. So there's that, which I mean is really hard to do because I think for anybody, like you kind of hit a wall with things and then you're like, okay, my life sucks. And then you're like hyper focused on like why your life sucks, how your life sucks. Like it's never going to get better and this and that. And kind of like getting into this headspace of not ever really feeling okay and not feeling like it's ever going to get any better. But then you're kind of just like wallowing in your own self-pity instead of realizing that like, yeah, stuff sucks, but it could suck a lot more. Did I make my headband? Yes. I made this on the way to the doctor actually. Like that hour drive, I've got time to kill. Especially because like today, shout out to my anxiety. I have to take a Vistaril before my MRI. So I'm not gonna be able to drive afterwards. So my mom has to take me. And then yesterday my mom already had an appointment. So I was like, cool, let me schedule mine like right after. And I had time to kill. So this is the headband. Yes. Very, very nice. I actually bought a bunch of yarn to do more crocheted stuff. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm going to sell them or not. Like I'm going to make a bunch, but I don't know if I want to sell them or if I want to just donate them. But like, where am I going to donate them to? There's not really like places out here that you can donate stuff like that to besides like thrift stores. And then thrift stores are just going to resell it anyways. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It depends. Maybe if people like want one, then I'll make them like to order, but not, it's not going to be an Etsy shop kind of thing. Plus you have to like pay to list on Etsy, which makes no sense because I could put something for free on Instagram or for free on Facebook and just say, message me your details and sell things that way. Like, anywho, so there's that. Also, I have on my channel an amazing, amazing hater. And I'm just so, I don't know. I'm kind of confused as to why somebody who very obviously dislikes me and very obviously just wants to be a problem continuously takes time out of their day to post comments on my videos. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna read some of these comments because honestly, like I can't. It's too funny. I have a hard time understanding, like, if you hate somebody so much, why would you continuously engage with their channel? Why would you continuously give them watch time? Why would you continuously, like, post comments or, like, interact with them in any shape, way, or form? Because all you're doing is boosting their channel. Even if you hate them, even if you're commenting, like, the worst things possible, you're still engaging with their channel, okay? When I've talked about, like, other, like, content creators and stuff like that that I don't like, I don't go interact with their channels. Like, after the whole Starbucks thing, I did not go interact with her channel after that. I have not watched her videos, I have not commented, I did not, like, continue to follow her on social media, like, I cut it off, and that was it. I said my piece, and I was on my way. So why are you taking time out of your day to sit and watch my videos and comment on them repeatedly? Like, it's almost like people don't get it that and I personally, I don't understand because I don't get the YouTube algorithm. I think it's like the biggest piece of hot garbage because it makes no sense whatsoever. And it's like a bunch of math things, and I don't math. Like, that's just a fact. I just don't math. So I know in watching like several videos and things like that, that channels that have higher rates of interaction, be it likes, dislikes, comments, shares, watch time, whatever, popular videos are noticed by the algorithm. So if you have somebody who is continuously leaving hate and shenanigans, do they not understand that all they're doing is helping? Like, when the whole Starbucks thing happened, a lot of people were like, "You're just hating and blah, blah, blah." But that was still giving me watch time. That was still, like, interacting with the channel or whatever, and people were getting mad because I was pointing it out. Like, the thing is, if you watch somebody, right? Let's say I'm gonna get hate regardless, so it doesn't matter. Let's say you were watching, like, PewDiePie videos, right? And then over time, you're like, "This isn't really my jam," anything like that, so I'm just not gonna watch them anymore. You not clicking on that video means you're not watching the ad, which means they're not getting money, so you're not supporting them. That's how YouTube works now. Like, in this day and age, like, that's how it works now. So if you hate somebody and you're going to their videos, you're still helping them. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I could run this into the ground like I do with everything else, but I think it's hilarious. So I'm gonna pull this over to the side. Okay. So I'm not gonna say their name because I'm sure they're just doing it for attention, obviously. So there's like 5 in a row that all happened yesterday. It was like actually 5 in a row. And the first two was on a video titled "I'm Frustrated." The other one, I can't see like the full name, and then the other one was from Saturday Chat. Okay. So it says, "Please genuinely respond to whom earth is it anyone's responsibility," because word salad, "but yours to provide anything for you. Either your parents do it or you do it. Why should my or my family's tax dollars pay for you? We worked. We stayed up 3 days at a time for school or work. Why should that pay for you? This makes me so mad. I've worked so hard for what I have. So hard. I'm so angry at you. I'm shaking." Those are 2 separate comments. First of all, if you're so angry that you're shaking, relocate your attention elsewhere because clearly you're just gonna get yourself worked up into a tizzy, and, like, what's that for? I think this is in regards to me talking about why I don't like being on public assistance and why I don't like the idea of being on disability or anything like that. Um, First of all, my parents pulled me out of school in 3rd grade and didn't even provide an education. Like, I had to go elsewhere for my education. So they don't provide for me. They've not provided for me in quite a long time. And even though, yes, I'm staying in their trailer, they're not like giving me this trailer. This is just a place to stay. I still pay all my own bills with what little money I have left. I still like take care of myself. Like, I don't ask them for money. I don't ask them for food. I don't ask them for anything. So they don't provide for me. The other thing is So tax dollars basically go into a pool that's run by the government, and how they divvy that out is up to them. It's not up to you, even though you pay taxes, it's not up to you. So that could also be flipped around. Okay, well, my tax dollars for my years working, why should they go to you? Why should they go to helping you if you're such an obvious, just nasty person? If you're such a hateful person, why should my tax dollars go to you? The thing is, we don't get to pick and choose what our tax dollars go to. Okay, so there's people that I know from treatment, like inpatient treatment, that the majority of them, not all, but the majority, a vast majority, is on Medicaid. Medicaid is paid for with government funding and tax dollars and all this. That's why, like, on pay stubs, it'll say like Medicaid tax or Medicare tax. Also, you don't get a choice where your money goes when it comes to Medicare either, because it goes to Medicare. Like, you don't get a choice. Social Security, like, people pay into Social Security, and then when people like my dad get sick, like, he's on Social Security because he has cancer. He can't work anymore. So you take that, like all this security fund, and it gets divvied up amongst the people who need Social Security. Okay. If you're so against tax dollars being used for what they're supposed to be used for, which is helping people in like tough situations when it comes to things like needing health insurance, needing medication, surgeries, things like that, then just don't pay taxes and go to jail. That's fine. But also, when you go to jail, that's tax dollars too. So you're just screwed. Like, you can't escape it. That's how things work in this country. Like, I understand when people are angry. Like, there's a lot of people, and this is like a really common problem, especially in like Florida, where there's a lot of like food stamp fraud, there's a lot of welfare fraud. I personally know like a family of people that what they do is they claim X amount of people lives in their house that actually don't, so that they can get more in food stamps. Which is a huge problem, obviously, because you're taking away from other people who genuinely need it. But the thing is, my tax dollars contributed to that. Like, me paying taxes, put it into the pool, and that pool was then used incorrectly because somebody lied. Like, yes, there are people who like abuse the system and things like that. I'm not one of them. I am living in an RV from the 70s that doesn't even really have enough room for me to move around safely with my cane. I didn't have heat for the last 3 days because my heater burnt out and I couldn't get up to exchange it until yesterday. It, like, when I plugged it in, it like sparked and just like shot and was like done. I don't have hot water in my trailer. The water barely even runs in this trailer. So it's not like I'm in the best situation right now. And it's not like this is a situation that I want to be in, considering I, once upon a time, had like a room in a garage to live. Like, even, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but like, this is welcome to my bed. Out this window, it's just white. That sucks. Is it going to focus? Let's see. No. But all you can see is like the mountains. Like, that's all that's around for like miles, because we're in the valley. Like, there's nothing for, I think the closest thing is like 12 miles away. It might be further than that. Yeah, I think it's a little bit further than that. But it's like an hour to the doctor, an hour to a grocery store. Like, everything is an hour away. It's not, I'm not living here by choice, and I'm not on public assistance because of choice. Like, that's just where I'm at. And a lot of this stuff, like, I didn't even know that my Medicaid had been cut off until I got into treatment. And I went into treatment October 2nd. My last day of work was September 30th. So when I got in, they asked me, how much have you worked this month? It had already only been like 2-3 days. So by the time I saw a social worker, I think it was the 3rd. And she was like, oh, well, you haven't worked at all this month. That means you would qualify for free Medicaid. So your treatment would be like paid for. And I was like, okay. Like, you don't get a choice. Like, when the social worker comes in and talks to you in treatment, they ask you what's your living situation like, what's your bills like, what's your jobs like what is your day-to-day life like? And from that, they then fill out the paperwork on your behalf to expedite it. That way, when you leave inpatient treatment, you can go like set up appointments with aftercare. You can go get the medications you were prescribed. You can continue building up the foundation that they've laid for you so that you can eventually get on your feet. So just because you've worked so hard for what you have doesn't mean that other people haven't worked hard for what they have. And just because you don't like somebody's personality on the internet doesn't mean that you should be able to pick and choose what kind of help they deserve when their life goes sideways. Like, I've worked hard for everything that I have. Like, this laptop that I have, I paid for. This camera I have, I paid for. This mic I have, I paid for. Like, everything that I have paid in one way or another for the things that I have. This sweater, I bought it. This headband, I made it. These glasses, I bought them. The braces in my mouth right now, I paid for those. Like, my phone, it might be like a Walmart iPhone, but I still paid for this phone. Like, everything that I have paid for in some form or another. So don't think that just because I sit here and I talk about my day and my life and like my experiences and things like that, that I'm just some lazy person who just sits up and talks about nonsense. Like, yeah, life freaking sucks right now. I had to leave my job and the doctors and established everything that I had up in Arvada to move to the middle of nowhere because somebody performed an illegal eviction. That's not my fault. I don't choose to sit here every day and not have a job. Like, I have voc rehab the day before Thanksgiving, and then I have to go talk to the people about disability the week after Thanksgiving. I don't want disability, but every single person I've talked to has asked me, why am I not on disability? Because nobody out here will hire somebody who walks with a cane, is like reliant on this cane. And now knowing that I don't even have a freaking right kneecap anymore, it's a high possibility I'm going to need the Social Security assistance. It's not like temporary disability or permanent disability or anything like that. It's an assistance fund to help with bills while you're like getting treatment for like whatever it is causing you to be disabled, be it like, you know, a broken arm, broken leg, missing kneecap, like whatever. So there's my tangent on that. I get really defensive when people think that I'm just being lazy or I'm just being selfish or whatever, because I work really, really hard to try to stabilize my life, but it doesn't line up with other people's ideas of where I should be in life. And that just creates like a cycle of shame. And it's just like, it's further perpetuating these stereotypes of people that, oh, well, because you don't see something happening, obviously nothing's happening. Like, you're just being a harmful person. You're not actually helping the situation, but you are giving me watch time. So thank you for that. It says, there's another one that says, oh, well, you either blocked or will block because I know you won't leave me here to call you out, LOL. Much less actually answer my legit questions. But this person's not actually asked any legit questions. They've just told me like, oh, when you were talking about going around Universal and Brandon was like carrying you, oh, poor little whiny Jess, that you were uncomfortable with it. Okay, so Brandon, for those of you who don't know, he is he was, I don't know if he's still doing it. He was a Twitch streamer who went by the name of Cyborg Shadow. And he had a cooking stream with Matt, who went by the Mattabase. And there was Kyle, who was occasionally in the house, and he was Kyle the Goldfish. And then there was Anton, but I don't remember Anton's handle. he was kind of like a recluse. He just like stayed to himself. But Brandon and I dated at the beginning of 2017, and his friends actually bought me a pass for Universal, which I was super uncomfortable with because I was like, I can't pay them back. Like, Universal passes are stupid expensive. I don't have the money for that. Like, I was not okay with it. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. Like, they're good people, whatever. And so when we would go to Universal, we went like 2 or 3 times. I was not comfortable with taking my brace or my cane because I didn't want to slow everybody else down. But by not taking my brace and not taking my cane, I was just slowing everybody else down. So there was several times when Brandon, who is over 6 foot tall, would take my 5'2" self and put me like up on his shoulders. So I'm like 9 feet plus in the air. And like, I'm very, very scared of heights and like not having like stability. And it would make me nervous because sometimes he would like lean back or whatever. And I was just like, huh, like, I can't, this is like freaking me out. I always thought I was going to fall. There was a couple times where I like started to fall. It was very uncomfortable. And I was very, very scared to be up that high. And I pointed that out and they're like, why are you so whiny that somebody took your whole body weight and carried it for you? Well, see, the thing is, I couldn't walk anymore at that point because I would lose feeling in my leg. So that was a choice that they made that I was not comfortable with. And I think it's totally fine to point out when you're not comfortable with a situation or something is making you nervous or anything like that. Like, that's completely fine. I don't see any problem with that. It's like, it would be no different if I was sitting there and I'm like, yeah, we went on this Harry Potter ride, and because I didn't have my glasses on, because I don't wear my glasses in theme parks, but I'm also like blind, like not like LOL, here's a meme about being blind, but it's like in my left eye, there's like half vision, the other half is just like black. It's always been like that. I don't know why. It's just a thing. But when I don't have my glasses on, everything's like really blurry and I can't see anything that well. And so to kind of cut down on the frustrations that I have going to theme parks with like taking my glasses off and putting them in my bag and hoping nobody steals them and then hoping I don't like squish them if I like keep them on me, like things like that. I just don't wear my glasses in theme parks. And so I would go, but I would be like super blind and I would have to have like other people who were with me like read signs for me and like help me find food and things like that because I can't see. It'd be the same as me pointing out that fact. Like, oh, we went on this Harry Potter ride and I couldn't see and I was uncomfortable. Like, I don't see the issue with pointing out when you're uncomfortable with something. This person makes no sense. And then they said, actually, never mind. You're too insane to talk to not worth it. So I can only assume that this person is like 12 because the way that they type is not consistent with what they're trying to say, because they're trying to say we worked hard and we did this and we did that and whatever. But then they say things, actually, never mind, you're too insane to talk to, not worth it. Like verbatim, that's what it says. Okay. First of all, the word insane perpetuates a stereotype that suggests I should be living in like a mental asylum with a straitjacket in a padded room, which isn't even the reality of inpatient treatment. Those asylums were like done away with. Like, I don't appreciate when people say you're insane or you're crazy or anything like that, because I do take my mental health incredibly serious. So you can like back up with all of that. Like, I'm not here for that. I have been through literal hell with medications and treatments and things like that. So you are not going to come for me and say you're insane. Because if I was insane, I would not have the capacity to sit here and calmly speak to other humans. That would not be happening. I would not be able to go to work. I would not be able to go to school. I would not have my associate's degree. I would never have even gotten a GED. Like, because if I was truly insane, none of that would be possible. Nobody even like in the mental health community even uses that word to describe other people because it's a very dehumanizing thing to say. So I'm not going to block you because every time you come to my channel and every time you interact with me, no matter how angry or how hateful, by me blocking you, first of all, that's censorship of your right to freedom of speech. You're allowed to say whatever you want. There are consequences to that. But I'm not going to sit here and be a child and block somebody because you want to have a bad day and you want to bring your negativity onto my channel. I feel bad for you. Like, I truly feel bad for you. If you feel the need to watch 3 of my videos and comment on them multiple times and then try to say that I'm an angry person and I'm whiny and I'm this and I'm that, I feel bad for you. This is not reflective of me. This is reflective of you because you're the one sitting there taking time out of your day to say angry, hurtful things. So there's that. Where was the other one? They're like, you're such an angry, hateful baby. This one doesn't even like load all the way. So it was when they said waddles around an amusement park and whines about the fact that the person who physically picked them up and carried them is too tall for their personal comfort. LMFAO, I can't. So I said, when I'm at least 9 feet in the air and scared of heights, I think it's okay to express discomfort. Fact. You're allowed to express discomfort about anything. You're allowed to voice your opinions and say what's on your mind and whatever, and that's completely valid. There's nothing that says that you can't. By somebody saying that you're not allowed to talk about how you feel about a situation, that's like invalidating your experience as a human, which is disgusting. So they said, LOL, sure, I suppose, but whining about someone lugging your full body weight around an amusement park isn't really the same. If you're unable to distinguish the difference, I'm honestly not sure how to explain much of anything logical to you, LMFAO. I'll try for your benefit, though. If you can't walk around an amusement park on your own and can't handle being carried, it's not unreasonable for you to stay home. I can't even tell you how many times I had to fight Brandon about going because I felt like I was being such a problem. Trust me, I tried to stay home, but he was like, no, come on, it'll be fine. Like, it'll be fun. We'll go hang out, blah, 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 whatever. It's not unreasonable for me to stay home. However, they also have wheelchair rentals at places like this. I just had a very difficult time finding those wheelchair rentals, or else I would have just done that, to be 100% honest. That's why they have wheelchair rentals and stroller rentals and things like that, is to accommodate guests. So there's that. I'm not even sure they're talking about the difference. The difference between what? Like, you're not even being clear. Y'all make no sense. Also, there's lots of people who can't walk. I am not exclusive to this club. There's people who also walk with canes. There's people who walk with crutches. There's people who are like exclusively living their life from a wheelchair perspective. All of these things are completely valid and don't necessarily mean that you should be able to go out and like have fun and like be outside your house. Like, okay, so because I can't walk the same distance, the same speed, the same amount as other people, shout out to a drunk driver that hit me and ruined my life, I'm not entitled to go outside of my home anymore. But then you're also going to get mad that I need assistance that's paid for by tax dollars. That's funny. That's real funny. That's real funny. I was trying to keep what I said to a minimum, but actually, no, you're lazy and selfish, and all you do is make up excuses for you not wanting to act like a human. I'm not sure if you know who Amberlynn Reed is, but you remind me of her on multiple levels. So, no, I don't know who Amberlynn Reed is, first of all. The other thing is not wanting to act like a human. Like, what does that even mean, though? Because if I was not wanting to act like a human, would I have, like, brushed my hair this morning? Because that's something a human does. Would I have gotten dressed this morning? Because that's something that a human does. Would I be taking care of my physical health and going to my doctor today? Because those are things that humans do. So I'm not really sure what exactly you're trying to say by not wanting to act like a human, but you're on a different level of ignorant, like a whole nother level of ignorant. Lazy and selfish and make up excuses. You know what's funny is that this all sounds like things that Cheryl would say. So let me find out that this is actually Cheryl, because all this is going to do is further prove that she's like taking time out of her day to like be aggressive and like harass people and things like that. This let me find out this is Cheryl, because this would all just be evidence for court. That's fine. That's totally fine. I'm not gonna go digging though, but there's also the fact that Cheryl wouldn't use words like suppose or spell things correctly. Like the things that she says is just word soup too. And this person is like using punctuations and things like that, which is not something Cheryl does, but it sounds very familiar. It does. But all of this is the same kind of talk that just comes from an abusive, hateful mindset. And like I said, I feel bad for whoever this person is. Like I truly, truly feel bad for them, because all they're doing is like putting themselves out on a public platform to make themselves look like an ignorant person. And I think that's really sad. That's sad. You're more than welcome to share your opinions, and you're more than welcome to, voice your feelings and things like that. But like I said, you can't be surprised when there's people who sit there and call you out for it or get angry at you for it. Like there's consequences to it. Oh, this is the other part of their comment. I had to refresh it. It didn't have like the read more part. It says, you play perpetual victim, and as someone who has many issues and family with many issues, you honestly infuriate me. But why do you keep coming back though? That's what this all boils down to. Why do you keep coming back? If you're so angry, I don't understand. Like if you have many, it's like all caps. So obviously you have to yell. That's just the land of all caps. If you have many issues, maybe you should check yourself and like hop up off my page and like go worry about yourself. If your family has many issues, then maybe you should be focused on getting help for yourself and your family. Like if that's true, then you should be handling your own and not coming on my page when I am doing everything I can to handle my business, coming on here acting like, "Oh, you play the victim." Okay, but how? Like, all I've done is sit on this channel and explain to people what my life has been like. And yeah, it's been garbage, but I'm not sitting here like, and then like you would not believe, like, and then like they told me that the store was closed and I like had to leave. Like, oh my god, like I can't believe this. Like I had been shopping the store for like 4 hours and they said I had to leave. Like, do you know who I am? Oh my god. Like, that is not me. I'm sitting here explaining, this is what my life has been like. This is why I have a PTSD diagnosis. This is what I'm doing to fix it. To me, that's not whining. That's not playing a victim. That's saying this is the reality of my existence as a human, and this is what I'm doing to fix it. So if you have a problem with that, this is not the channel for you. It's that simple. I'm not saying anybody has to be here, doesn't have to be here. I could go right back down to 0 subscribers and I'd be totally fine. No problem with it, because I'm not sitting here making content to be popular, be famous, or anything like that. I'm sitting here making content to share my experience and put my story out there, because I think it's important for everyone to share their stories, whether you like their stories, you don't like their stories, to have this time capsule, essentially, is what YouTube is, to have this massive time capsule to sit here and say, this is what was happening in this person's life in 2018. Wow, look at where they were in 2020. Like, I can't believe how far they got, or whatever. And to let other people know that, yeah, you might be struggling, and yeah, stuff might absolutely suck right now. But guess what? Here are the resources and here's the information to fix it. I understand a lot of my posts have been super, super negative, but guess what? Life is not all sunshine and freaking rainbows, okay? It's not all Starbucks refills and Bugattis, okay? Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you're living in a trailer, an old 1970s RV. Sometimes you have to live on food stamps because it's all that you have. Sometimes you can't afford to go to school because you're already $22,000 plus in debt to another school that doesn't even exist anymore. So you really don't have the financial means to go to school. Sometimes you have to go through stints of unemployment because you live in a very, very rural area with very, very limited jobs. Okay. Sometimes you have to take your physical limitations and address those with proper outlets. So Voc Rehab or job placement authorities, so that they can find something for you. Because when you waddle into an interview and you sit there with a cane and you're like, yeah, I can totally be a server at Chili's, that's not realistic. Like, sometimes you have to take these really crappy avenues to get to where you need to be. And I understand people don't want to talk about this stuff. People don't want to talk about the nasty, gritty, awful, crappy parts of their life. But guess what? I do. Okay? Because there's too much fake. There's way too much fake on YouTube, and I can't. It's so obnoxious. Like, people sit there and they're like, I spent $1,000 at Sephora. Let me try on all this makeup I'm only going to use once. Like, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares about the fact that you went and spent rent at Sephora for views. Nobody cares. Okay? What I care about is, I don't see anybody else talking about these things. I don't see anybody else addressing these things. I don't see anybody else who wants to. It's like this dirty little secret of, oh, when people are on public assistance, oh, when people are on food stamps, oh, when people have to have Medicaid. Like, if it wasn't for Medicaid, I wouldn't be getting the treatment that I need for my knee, that I have needed since April of 2016. I would not be getting the treatment that I need because I can't afford insurance. And if I couldn't afford to get the help that I need for my knee in order to go back into the workforce, do you not understand that I would permanently be on disability due to the inability to walk? Which is more of your tax dollars. Don't you get that? Like, people don't make any sense. Like, I swear, people don't make any sense whatsoever. It infuriates me. Oh my gosh, it just makes me so mad. So there's that. So Debbie has been hooking up the conversation over here, and I've missed all of it. Here we go with another hour-long video. I'm so sick of this. Speaking out goes two ways. If you're going to be speaking out, expect the response to be something entirely different than what you expect. Someone can respond as outspokenly as you do. Exactly. It's a conversation. When you put yourself out on a public platform, you're then opening yourself up to ridicule, criticism, harsh things, like things you don't want to hear, things you don't agree with. But that's what happens when you open yourself up to those things, which, by putting myself out there, I understand that I open myself up to a lot of negativity and a lot of hatred and things like that. But it also starts a conversation with the whole Starbucks thing. People were then talking about, dang, you're right. A lot of people are incredibly entitled. And then they started seeing that other people were just as entitled. And it opened a conversation and an opportunity for dialogue to talk about, okay, well, how do we change this landscape of we're taking these like, you know, popular kids, post them up on the front of YouTube, then they're getting big heads about all their money and stuff, becoming unrelatable and acting like they're just the next big thing in Hollywood. Like, at what point does YouTube go back to being YouTube and be about people sharing their experiences and, you know, acting like actual, like, realistic people and not this plastic portrayal that they put on for the gram? Like, there you go. The whole argument about being negative, I can't read today. Just everything is just the whole argument about negative things being mentioned was a tactic by big businesses to stop people complaining about the stupidity of customers. That's not wrong. That's not wrong at all. There's too much going on right now with political correctness. Nope, they don't care. They're just interested in trolling people. The political correctness thing is that is accurate, because a lot of people are like, they're scared to voice their opinions because they don't want to upset the other side. They don't want people to come for them. They don't, you know, they don't want to take the criticism. They just want to be everybody's friend and, like, you know, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that at all. Is there like a delay in my camera? Because I can see, like, right here is like a ghost outline of my hoodie. Is that weird? Is anybody else seeing that, or is that just me? It might just be me, but it's like showing up on my screen. They don't make sense because they're too interested in the here and now rather than the big picture. People don't understand these days what the big picture really is or what freedom really is. So to me, at this point in my life, the big picture is, like, people have asked me, like, in treatment and stuff, where do you want to be in like 5 years? Like, walking. And I'm not saying that to suggest that I absolutely don't walk whatsoever. I do walk. I do walk slowly and I do walk with a cane. So suck it. The big picture for me personally, is I would potentially like to go back into the aesthetics field. I would like to work in a spa for a little while and develop my own skincare line. A natural, gentle skincare line that doesn't have aloe. That's the biggest thing. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Well, no, I have something for you and I gotta get the stuff.
Okay, well, I'm filming, so you can come in, but it's gonna be awkward.
Maybe.
I didn't know what else to do with the box.
I'll take care of it. Dad's opening the...
That's not mine.
No, this jacket's Dad's.
Oh.
But it's too little on him. He's Febrezed it. Hold on. And it's too small on him. It's a Land's End.
Well, I probably have to actually wash it first, because if what's causing this outbreak is the cigarette smoke, then I would have to actually wash it, because Febreze is not going to take carcinogens off of a jacket.
Try it on, though. He said if it fits you and you want it, you can have it.
Okay.
It's too little on him.
Well, that's good, because I don't have a jacket.
Well,
I have that, like, Walmart fluffy hoodie thing. Like, it looks a lot thicker than it is, but it's not.
Oh.
And this.
We were just talking about it. And
I was going to look for my North Carolina hoodie.
So, I mean.
Because it's clean, and this one is very not.
Very chilly out.
Well, it snowed.
Yeah.
So I can only assume.
You might want to try to wear that. Stuff in here.
Stuffs? Oh, it's in the freezer.
Okay. That was actually smart on your part.
Well, I didn't know what else to do, so I just lumped all of the moderately frozen stuff together. So there. Is it not in there?
No.
I made it up. It's somewhere. But I touched the grapes, and the grapes were warm, and I was concerned. Oh yeah, I knew it was in a bag.
Well, this is getting cold.
It's trying.
All right.
It's making a good old college effort to be a refrigerator.
So let me get this took care of.
I don't have homeowners insurance, so if you kill yourself on that box, I can't help you.
I'll be back in a minute.
Bye. Are we still doing awkward turtle? Because I'm doing awkward turtle. Hi, Mom. Okay. Let's see. Live streams. What are you gonna get? Nobody knows. Are you just gonna put that one in the box too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if this one explodes,
Yeah, that's why.
I might just get the money back and like try to get a different one.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay. Yes. So having a skincare line that does not have aloe, because jump back on, because aloe has a naturally occurring layer of latex in it, and that is not often removed when creating products. And so for me, if something has aloe in it, I'll have like a breakout. That's not what this is. This is different. I had not put anything on my face previously, and it just broke out. Let's see. Debbie said, I had a hiking accident in 2004, blew out my ACL, and could not afford Obamacare. My kids are grown in their early 20s. I cannot get pregnant again. I'm not married. I live with my domestic partner for the last 3.5 years in Wyoming, originally from East Tennessee, but I am blind in one eye with astigmatism in both eyes where I cannot work. So I'm a stay-at-home domestic partner. I do not qualify for disability because I'm not blind enough. I've actually had that come back, and people like the disability people have said I'm not blind enough, because I have half vision in my left eye. The half that exists is very, very poor. All of the connections are there, and the eye is healthy, and the connections are healthy. But for whatever reason, there's no like signal between my eye and my brain in half of my eye. It makes like no sense, but it's called strabismic amblyopia. So like Google it. But I definitely get that. And I do have astigmatism in both my eyes as well, but they're like, you're not blind. Like you can kind of see. I'm not even supposed to be driving, but I still have a license, so it's legal. In order for me to afford Obamacare, I would have to pay $543 to get a $7,500 deductible that only covers 50% of medical expenses and no prescription coverage. Isn't it crazy how health insurance doesn't make any sense? Like when you put it on paper, you're just like, the f is this? They tried to fix it with patches. I had patches too. My patches? Okay. So I had patches. That was like a big Band-Aid that went over my right eye. And they had fairy tale stickers because it was kids' patches. And I remember one, it had like a lion and a princess and a castle. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And every morning before school, I would sit there and I would like pick out what stickers I want. And then you would put it over like where your eye would be. And then you would have the patch. Like it was the greatest thing. It pulled out a lot of my eyebrow hairs though. I'm so glad it grew back. But that's why like this one has like almost an entirely different shape than this one, which I don't know, it might not be that noticeable to other people, but when you do or did do eyebrows for a living, yeah, you notice those things. A lot of people think that I had patches on my left eye. This is my left eye, because this one has a lot more like patchiness, but I don't know. That was one of the things that got me really excited about like being able to like put makeup on, was because I can't wear my glasses when I put on makeup, but I would put on makeup and it would look super dope. And then I would be like so proud of myself because I could see enough to make it at least kind of even. So maybe one day I'll do like how I do winged lighter when I can't see kind of thing. No mirror makeup challenge. Accepted. I could totally do that because I already can't see. Patches go on the good eye to force the bad eye to work, except that the patches on the good eye were damaging it as well. This is fact. I also read a study in 2009 that people were trying to use patches in conjunction with Tetris, because your eyes would be focused on like putting the shapes in the holes and making the lines, Tetris, you know what I'm talking about. We've all seen it. But it was talking about like how your brain tries to like fill those gaps. It's supposed to like strengthen your eye or something. I don't even know. But I even tried wearing patches again when I was 19 and it actually doesn't work. And I have a couple of cousins that have lazy eye, which is strabismus. Amblyopia is the or amblyopia, depends on who you ask. That is the blind part, and then strabismus is the lazy eye part. So you might have like drifting of the eye, or like for me, I can't cross my eyes because the muscle in this eye doesn't do as it should. So I just end up like kind of crossing this one and like kind of crossing this one, but it's mostly like straight. So I have cousins that have like the lazy eye part of it, and they actually had to have surgery to correct it. But I'm not a candidate for surgery. I also found out that with LASIK, all they do is they take your current prescription and laser it onto your eyeball. So if you later in life need to like change your prescription for whatever reason, you still gonna need glasses. I also have a weird eyeball shape, so I'm not a candidate for contacts either, which is why we're doing this. Basically, I would have to pay $13,000. Oh my God. That's a car. $13,000 out of pocket before I would get any help on medical expenses from insurance. I have a very good friend that is paying over $2,000 a month for insurance. I'm like, how are you supposed to afford health insurance and rent? That's what I'm not understanding. Because she does work a part-time job. Yes, I looked into LASIK as well. Wouldn't work for me. LASIK is not. I thought LASIK, when I first found out about LASIK, I honestly thought it was like a miracle kind of thing. And I was asking my mom at like 9 years old if I could like have contacts, or at 12 years old if I could have LASIK. And my grandma had cataract surgery and I thought it was the same thing. So I was asking my mom, why can't I have cataract surgery? Like it fixed grandma's blindness, why can't it fix mine? Oh, because it's a different kind of blindness. So that's cool. There's no way to fix it. Like there's no cure for blindness, and it is what it is. And it's one of those things that I really don't talk about because to me it's just like such a normal thing that I don't see a point in talking about it, but I've had it like my whole life. And I don't really know how to explain any level of blindness to somebody because it's just like, you're making it up for reals. Like, no, it's documented. Like it's an actual thing. So I have almost no vision in my left eye, and then I have 20/200 in my right eye. So I'm like, oh blind. My eye was supposed to have turned in before I was 12 years old. Thankfully, it never did. But if my eyes got really tired, it's far more noticeable in my bad eye. My eyes, like I never had, like even in pictures, I never had like the cross-eyed kind of thing. My mom said I did when I was like really little, but I don't recall. But I definitely don't see it like, where's my picture book? Oh, it's up there. I don't see it like in any of my pictures, but sometimes in like selfies, if I take them now, I'm like, wow, one eye is not even looking at the camera, which is super awkward. If I'm like looking to the side or something like that and like trying to focus on the camera, like it's not like you can see like my right eye is like looking entirely this way and my left eye is still kind of looking straight. That's like really annoying. Well, also if my eyes are looking like really red, I'm sitting in front of my heater, which is why my skin is also really red. So there's that. But yeah, this has been fun. It's been a ride. October has been a hot mess. It's been a disaster. I am ready for it to end. I am ready for November to get better. Especially with the Voc rehab, if I'm able to show them like, hey, here's what the damage is in my knee, like, or they also talked about physical therapy. So seeing if I'm like even a candidate for physical therapy, or if it's like so far gone, I just like need a knee replacement. Like I'm excited to get these results, find out what my kidneys are doing, like get everything in order, start moving in the correct direction. I'm also picking up my antidepressant today, which I've not been able to take it all this month because it needed prior auth from Medicaid. So I'm going to be picking up my rash medication. That's a topic. And picking up my Pristiq. So I am excited to start November with my antidepressant, getting these results, moving forward with treatment, like getting everything took care of, and then going from there. Before I leave, I need to find a couple of things to throw in my bag. Don't let me forget. I'm about to shut this off, but like, don't let me forget. But yeah, I have to go so I can throw on a clean hoodie. I just put this one on because it was really cold. But I've worn this one probably like 8 or 9 times. So about that time to wash it. But also washing clothes is like a pain because the laundromat is also an hour away. So there's that. My face itches so bad, and I'm like trying not to scratch it because I don't want to like cause any like bleeding or anything like that, or like scratch my face open. Are you having any edema in the leg with the bad knee? Actually, no. Like I've not had, like, it'll swell a little bit, but isn't edema where it's like out of control swelling? I might be wrong. But no, the joint swells up, and then when it like shrinks back down, tries to bend backwards. It's not comfortable. It hurts a lot. And then also when I like put my legs straight because the bones are just like rubbing against each other, it hurts a lot. But anywho, there's that. I'm gonna go. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you'd like to know about these headbands, leave them down below. They may or may not be for sale at some point. I don't know. I'm just winging it. But yeah, I'll check back with you guys later. Because I'm sure there's like at least a handful of people that are playing along at home, the saga of my failing health. But obviously if it is something as serious as like kidney failure, that may put an abrupt end to these kinds of live streams, because that's going to become like priority one, but I won't know until like next week at least. So anywho, I'm going to go, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.